In this same economy that you say that this is so bad, people are becoming billionaires on a daily basis, doing legitimate work.
Everyone wants to leave Nigeria, Japa, start again, and escape the system. But what happens when a man who built businesses in both Nigeria and America says,
at 25, if I know what I know now, I won't Japa.
In this explosive conversation, Houston-based real estate developer Femi Rogers reveals the side of migration nobody talks about.
There's a lot of misconception
Please tell me.
by a lot of Nigerians about the Western world. They think the roads are paved with gold, things are easy, and that's wrong. I think a lot of people are realizing that now.
The taxes, the debt traps, the illusion of luxury, and why many immigrants abroad are one paycheck away from pressure. But this isn't about Japa. This is about money and wealth creation.
But it's not everybody that understands how to use credit. They are not used to having credit, especially Nigerians. They never got a loan all their life. So when they see money, they use it on the wrong thing. If credit is used wrongly, it imprisons you.
Why many people stay broke after making millions, why Nigerians misuse credit, why diaspora investors don't trust the Nigerian system.
Diasporans have money. We've not tapped it. The reason why they are not investing is because they don't trust. There is no clarity in the way you do business. Everything is shredded in secrecy.
And why transparency may be the key to fixing the Nigerian economy.
As of 2025, Diasporans remitted almost about $23 billion. That's a lot of money. Foreign direct investment was only about 900 million. So you can see the difference.
From doing Uber in America after employing over 100 staff in Nigeria.
When I left Nigeria, I had over 100 and something staffs in my various businesses. When I got abroad, I told my wife that I want to drive Uber. She said, no, you even have like 4 or 5 drivers when you were in Nigeria. How can you go and hold you? But you are too big for that. I'm not too big for anything.
To building multi-million-dollar real estate projects across 2 continents.
If I was developing in Nigeria, I would be looking for 1 billion naira cash to build one house. In the US, that my 1 billion naira cash will build 5 houses.
This episode will change everything you think you know about wealth, migration, and success. This is the Frankly Business Podcast. Femi Rogers, you're very much welcome.
Thank you, Frank.
To the Frankly Business Podcast.
I enjoy your podcast. I've seen a lot.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. If you were 25 and you're in Nigeria, would you Japa?
I wouldn't.
Why?
Right. So there's a lot of opportunity in Nigeria. And my own situation might be quite different.
Yeah.
You have to also understand that we all have different situations, whatever we're doing. So,
very true.
So at 25, if I know what I know now, I won't Japa.
What do you know now that is making you say that?
Over time, I've been an entrepreneur, and I started being an entrepreneur since when I was like 25, actually. I've learned that to start a business, you don't put the money up front. You don't need capital up front. Do you understand? There are so many other things you can do to start a business. You have to first of all build a profile. Okay? So based on that, if I was 25, I wouldn't need to Japa because I can raise capital. I have the knowledge on how to do that. I can build confidence with investors. I have ideas of starting a business. However, it's not all Nigerians that are like that. A lot of Nigerians Japa because they need jobs. I don't need that. I've always been an entrepreneur all my life. I never worked for anybody. Maybe when I did Uber at some point, and I also did interior decoration at some point, just for a few months to learn about. It was purposefully to learn about some few things. It wasn't like I was trying to earn income from those things.
Yeah.
So based on that, I won't have jackpot the way you are looking at it. I did move my operations to the US. So I don't see it as a jackpot. What I did was an expansion of my business, right? Because I wanted to go global. And so I've always been operating in Nigeria. I'm still operating in Nigeria and the US at the same time. So yes, I won't jackpot away from Nigeria. Nigeria has a tremendous loss of opportunity, and you need to be around, especially when you're in Nigeria. In fact, I'm letting my kids, I bring my kids every Christmas to build network among their mates and understand Nigeria, because they would need Nigeria in the future.
A lot of people will say, what happened to the American dream? Is it dying, or is Nigeria arriving late? Because a lot of people here aspire to go there, aspire to go to the West, which is where we got the Japa ideology from. And it's something that has been from time immemorial. Yeah. And some people will say, yes, you're saying it, you won't, but you did. Some people say, but you did. And you built businesses in real estate, you built investment company in the US and here in Nigeria, across the globe. How would you balance it? What would you tell Nigerians who are listening that these are the opportunities in Nigeria that they can tap into, and they don't need to leave the shores of this country before they become big in entrepreneurship?
There's a lot of misconception.
Please tell me.
By a lot of Nigerians about the Western world. They think the roads are paved with gold, things are easy, and that's wrong. I think a lot of people are realizing that now, right? It's a tough place to live abroad, right? There are some countries, for instance, I've not been in the UK, United Kingdom, UK, for like 20-something years. I just generally don't like Europe. I go through Europe sometimes, go to maybe one or two countries, but UK, no. Expensive, opportunities are low, the tax are high. Do you understand? When you look at someone staying abroad that lives in a big house, I've seen some celebrity that moved abroad post in their mansion, right? I just bought it. I saw one recently and people were, she bought a big house. All she needs is to drop 3%. So if you are buying, let's say, $1 million house,
yeah,
you drop only 3%. 3% of $1 million is maybe $30,000.
Yeah, $30,000.
Right? You owe $970,000, and you are sweating to pay the mortgage every day. That's why people abroad don't sleep. You owe money on your car, you owe money on your mortgage. On the house, you are paying tax. You are paying HOA. What we call association of big money. 30 days is a very short time.
Yeah.
It's like, before you know what is 30 days. And you have to look for money to pay. Credit card debts, so many things going on. So when you see Nigerians or you see people post this lifestyle, the clothes they wear, everything they wear is debt, basically, in Yoruba. You understand?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they don't sleep. They have to work all the time over and over and over again. Here in Nigeria, people are, laid back, they take their time. The things I always remember, back in the days, when we have NEPA. Sometimes you owe NEPA. You can't owe anybody abroad. There's nothing like you are owing. They don't know, and you pay in your 30 days. Or they cut off your light, cut off your water inside cold. So you see people sweating. They go inside 0 degree just to get to work. They wake up 4 a.m. inside cold. If you understand what it means to wake up at 4 a.m. inside freezer and be walking on the street to work,
yeah, and
you are doing 3 jobs, that's not a life. So when people look at the Western world, because of what they see all the, things looking good. They don't understand what it takes to live there. And then at the end of the day, people like me that have businesses abroad, right? You do your business, you make money, they tax you 40% to 50%. I had some investors.
But people would
invested in a project with me in the US. And when they were going to move, they taxed them. They will tax them in the US. They are moving their money to Canada. They also taxed them. Well, they weren't expecting all this tax. So Yes, abroad is good because you will live it, you live a good life, but you will work for it. And sometimes what you get is not worth the effort. And it's not everybody that can rise above. When I went to the US, because my own siblings grew up in the US practically.
Okay.
I was like the last of our family, so I stayed with my parents. So I already have, I have people that understand the system. My brother, one of the first things he told me is that in the US, you have to first understand everything is like a system, right? You can use the system to ride above. You can ride above the system to survive, or allow the system to drown you. And it's not a lot of people that get those kind of advice, or have people that already know how the system works. So they get there, the first thing they do is take their credit card, start making debts. And then all your life, what you are chasing is how to pay your next bill. That's what they call living from hand to mouth. Because what you are doing every day is you are looking for money to pay the next bill. That's not freedom. That's not life.
But that's an enabling environment. It's an environment that enables you to build. You have access to credit, and that credit can be utilized for different things. Credit is like the lifeblood of entrepreneurship. And that's what we complain about in this part of the world, where an average Nigerian wants to start a business. He's thinking about capital, how to start. He's thinking about, I've got this idea, I've got the capacity, I know what to do, but I don't have what it takes to be able to do it, which is credit. And you're saying, so I need that balance, because credit is there, and when Nigerians go over there, I'm asking you two questions in one. I need that balance, one. Secondly, I also need you to explain the concept of Nigerians going there and the first thing they think about is working. How did you get that mental shift to run a business from day one in the US?
Talking about credit.
Yeah.
See, credit, yes. You need credit. You need finance. You need finance.
Very true.
As a leverage as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
When you we call it leveraging, so when you get a loan, you use it to leverage. But it's not everybody that understands how to use credit. Okay.
How do they use credit?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right. They don't know how to use credit. They are not used to having credit, especially Nigerians. They never got a loan all their life. So when they see money, they use it on the wrong thing. Right. So it is also if credit is used wrongly, it imprisons you. That's what happens to a lot of people, right? They don't know how to use that. If you give money, somebody that has not seen, let's say, ₦1 billion and has never done business before in his life, in Nigeria, forget abroad.
Yeah.
You give him ₦1 billion, he will cause problem now. I bought a house. I have a particular instance.
Tell me.
My first house I bought in Abuja, in Wuse. It was during the time when Obasanjo was selling off some of those government properties.
Oh, yeah, privatization. Yeah.
The man I bought the house for was my landlord. I was using the house as a showroom. And after a while, he asked me if I wanted to buy it. I said, oh, yeah, I'll buy it. When I paid him the money, he went back to his village and married wife. He married a wife. In 2 years, he blew all the money and he was calling me for change. In like 5 years, he died. It's not everybody you give money. Somebody that has never controlled money before, you are saying give him credits. That's why I said from the beginning that, look, from what I've learned, I didn't learn it by, waking up one day and somebody giving me money. I didn't have money when I started business. I learned how to make money without having money. Creative way. That's how, when you give somebody that has already been there and knows how to handle money, then he can run with it. So, talking about credit, you land somebody in the US, the first thing, you give him free credit card, money here, and there. The guy goes to buy a big car. He goes to buy clothes. He's trying to look good. I know people that want to start business in Nigeria, the first thing they do is they go and rent a big house. They don't have a business idea. They don't know what they want to do, but they are renting a big house. And he thinks he wants to do business. There are people that they borrow money to go and do burial, borrow money to do 58th birthday. There is no way you are even going to argue them out. So you borrow money, you get credit, you are using it for burial. How do you get how do you pay the loan? And it's not a lot of people that understands this. I've met people, I've tried to explain to some people, they don't even understand. They will argue. People sell their house to do burial. I've seen it. So that's an example of somebody that sold his house to go and marry wife.
Yeah. Wow. So this is really, really deep what you're saying, and it's becoming a habit, a bad financial habit. What do you advise regarding credit? How do you advise potential entrepreneurs to use credit?
The first thing is, and the banks know this. The first, when you walk into the bank and you want to, let's take Dangote for instance.
Yeah.
Dangote just did a project worth $20 billion.
Yeah.
A guy like that, there's no amount of money you give him in Nigeria he can't make use of. He has a lot of things going on.
Very true.
He can handle the money. So the first thing is you have to learn how to use money. You have to have the network, the structure to execute it. If there's a limit to how much you can give everybody, you can't just come. I have some Nigerians that contacted me one time and they were looking for investment in their project, young guys.
Yeah.
Two of them, they got on a Zoom call with me. They talked about their idea. They want money. They are looking for 10, 20 million naira. And I asked them, have you ever seen this kind of money? Have you used one? Have you executed? What have you done? They have not. But the idea looks nice. There is something they call momentum. You start small and begin to build from 100,000 to 200,000 to 300,000 to 400,000. Then at that point, I know, okay, right, you've used 500,000 to start something. So I can give you a loan of 400,000, right? You don't come to ask for 10 million when all you have done all your life is 500,000. So the first thing, people just don't like hard work. They want free money. Somebody to come and give them money. Somebody that does not know anything, but just have a beautiful idea in his head and he thinks I was talking with somebody recently.
Yeah.
And he was asking me that about investment, that when you give money to somebody and something goes wrong, and there is a couple of real estate investors that have issues. And I was explaining to the person that because you give your money to a operator or maybe like a real estate developer, and there was issues, does not necessarily mean the guy wants to dupe you from day one, right? There are so many things that influences a business. If you are talking to a seasoned investor, somebody that knows what he's doing, he understands that. For instance, I don't have control of economic shift. If suddenly because of government policy or they are doing reform, and then the naira, we have already started the project, and then
they are projections.
Naira, I don't control that. I don't control market cycle. I don't control so many things. So the person you gave money, right? Anything can go wrong doing an investment. It doesn't necessarily mean he wants to dupe you. If you give the money to an experienced person, he understands where the market is, he understands what you're doing. Right now in the US, what we're doing is we're building properties and holding it and renting them out. Because the market is a little bit slow, so we change strategy. Instead of selling to make capital gain, before we make 30-40%, capital gain on a house when we build. But now, market is slow, interest rates is high, so people are buying less. So what are we doing? We are holding it. We build it, hold it, and rent it out for the next 3 or 4 years. Once the market is better again, boom, we start selling. We build equity in those houses. Our tenants are paying our mortgage. So you need to understand where you are in the market and what strategy you are going to apply. So an experienced person, an experienced operator knows how to work. The first thing you want to know when you are giving money to somebody, and I've seen this, it happens all the time. You have people, they promise you big money. Bring it, I'll give you 50% return, 70% return. What Nigerians do is, he's going to give me 50%. And that's why they have all those issues what do you call it? When when a lot of them are folding up, they get their money and they run away.
Okay,
When
yeah.
they promise them high returns,
Pyramid scheme.
and you go, somebody is promising 50, 70. Which business is it?
Ponzi scheme,
Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
50, 70% return on investment. You should have a warning in your head. Now, Nigerians don't look at who they are giving money to. They are looking at the returns. What we should look at is, who am I giving the money? Does he have experience? Has he been in issues? Has he been doing this thing for a long time? How many has he done? That's the profile you want to look at before you give your money out. But unfortunately, a lot of people, when we talk with people, and I'm saying invest with me, and I'm saying, well, this is how it's going to work. They think, that your money is mine. I know somebody that promised you 50. In fact, somebody just invested with me recently, and she came back again and reinvested with me. So when she was giving me the money, she said, I want to introduce you to somebody. I said, that person was supposed to have invested with me, with you, alongside me, the last investment that we did. That you have given me a return and you have paid me back. But he didn't invest with you. He gave the money to somebody else and they lost all their money. I said, what's help? He said they promised them high return. But mine was lower than theirs. And they went to give the money to the person. This is a problem a lot of people get into. They don't understand. The first thing is risk mitigation. You are giving your money to somebody that doesn't know anything and you lose all the money. What's the point of losing all the money? Reduce what your expectation. Look at the profile. And, people that know what they are doing know that you can't make that kind of ridiculous. What business are you doing that you are making 70, 80%? Giving a return to your investor, 70, 80, 50%. Except you are, I'm not even sure if...
So what return do you think is a safe place to play?
Look,
what return do you think is a red flag
average,
or a green flag?
Let me tell you the truth.
Yes, please. Especially in real estate.
Both in Nigeria and abroad.
Yeah.
Cash on cash. And it's a little bit complicated, I can respect. Cash on cash return on investment is usually about 30%. So if I build a house in Nigeria as a developer, usually it's about 30% return. So which means that if I put 1 billion, it's probably about 1.3. If I put 700, I don't know how to do the math. 70%, I'll get another 30%. ROI. If anybody starts off, so if I, the operator, knows that I'm getting 30% cash return, okay, and I'm promising you 50%, there is something you need to understand why. Now, it's not impossible when you are leveraging, and I don't want to go into those details. If
you can go into the details.
All right. So if it's a cash, that is what we call cash on cash return on investment. You give me 1 billion. That 1 billion is what I use for the whole project, right? And then I get 30% return on it. That is cash on my 1 billion. But if I leverage on other resources or other people's money or banks' money, my ROI can go up. Let me see how to explain that. So if let's say I'm building a house now, it cost me 1 billion to build, and I need the 1 billion. You, my investors, say, we'll give it to you at 20%. You will give us 20% on our 1 billion. Right. Then I said, okay, don't give me a full 1 billion, give me 500,000. Let me start the structure. Right. Then I sold it. So all I borrowed from you is 500,000, not 1 billion. 500,000, I'm giving you the same 20%, but what has happened now is my loan, my exposure to you. So on 1 billion, I would have given you 200,000. On 500,000, I will give you only 100,000. So I've reduced my loan by 100,000. So all I'm paying you back as my debt.
100 million, you mean?
100 million.
Yeah.
Then I begin to sell the houses off plan. So I have done a creative way of making money there. I didn't go and borrow the full money. So I'm so that's leveraging. I've leveraged on my buyers, resources, and then I use their money to complete the project. Right. There are other ways of leveraging. That's how you can reduce or increase your, ROI. So that's why I said you can make more than 30%. You know, from an experienced person, he knows how to, you know, leverage. But on cash, when we are talking, most times you make about 30% on any business, most businesses. So when I'm talking with you and you are giving me anything more than 30%, I'll ask you questions. If you are a smart investor and you tell me how to work around it, I know, okay, all right, you have a way of working around it, I understand it.
So, if you look at it, you play in Nigeria and in the US. I'm happy it's even in the US, not other part of the West, because Nigerian real estate industry, it looks like it's overpriced. There are conversations around, we're going to experience a bubble very soon. It's way beyond the actual value. Well, everything we're just seeing is the perceived value. Some Nigerians will say, we've had a trend a lot of times where they will say they would rather invest in properties in the US, use $500,000 to buy a property in the US. It gives me, I get more benefits than investing $500,000 in some properties here in Nigeria, because the value of the property, the location and all whatnot, the benefits you get in the grand scheme of things, what you get in the US is better. What do you have to say regarding that? Investing in real estate here or there?
Right. Nigeria has its opportunities, and I don't think the prices of properties in Nigeria is overpriced.
Why?
There are principles of valuing properties. The only problem is that the operators in Nigeria don't really understand what they are doing. Right? I see realtors. I was going to buy a land recently, and when I came in January, I spoke with them. They said, okay, land around Lake is about 1.2 million per square meter.
Yeah.
Now, the guy is telling me, I know 1.7, 1.8. I'm asking him, how did you arrive at that price? He can't explain. Well, he said the seller feels like, well, he can get 1.8, which is what is driving the market. Somebody wakes up and say, oh, I think I can get this.
So speculation.
They are not using the principles of valuation. Okay? When you want to value anything, especially property, there are three main principles you have to understand. One, your cost of construction plus the profits you want to make on top, which is usually about 30%, can tell you what the value of the property is, right? I buy the land, I build it, and I put my 30%, developer's 30% on top. I will tell you, this property is this. Two, rent or income, especially income generating property. There is something we call cap rates, capital rates. Usually on the island, maybe it's about 10-12%. On the mainland, maybe about 6 or 7%. So that's like the rates of capital increase. I don't want to go into that.
No, you can.
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated for you. So if I'm renting a house, let me explain like this. Your rent in Lekki, in 10 years, you should be able to buy the money you used to build the house. So if you build a house for 1 billion in rent Lekki, or if you let me say you bought an apartment in Lekki for 300 or 350, which is what they are selling right now averagely. Your rent should be about 30 million. Because it's about 10-12% cap rate. So within 10 years, what that means basically is within 10 years you should be able to get your 300 million investment back. That's another way of valuing it. So if you tell me what's the price you bought that house, I can quickly do a quick math based on the income or what they are renting in that area. So this is what the value of, I can tell you what the rent should be or the value of the property should be. The last and the most common one, which we use in Nigeria, is comparison. Frank bought his house down the street, 1 billion. So therefore, I want to sell my own for 1.1. Okay, so the realtor is going to say, they sold that land for 1 billion. So Oga, we are selling, that is 2 months ago. We are selling this one for 1.1.
Yeah.
That's how they come up with the price. But there is a problem.
Tell me about the problem.
They don't have the data. It is known that buyers never give you the real price. So if you tell me you are the buyer, you are the owner of the house, you will tell me you bought the house at 800. You will be telling me 1 billion. That's what buyers do. So if a realtor is quoting, Frank told me he bought it for 1 billion. He's usually 90% of buyers are lying. They didn't buy it at 1 billion. There is no clear data that says so. Now I put mine. I'm trying to sell it at 1.1 based on what Frank bought at 800. So we're not really working on real value. Okay?
So are you saying that the reason why they do that? Why do they do that? Is it because they are trying to increase the value of the
people value
of the area
what they own more? People don't like to undervalue. So mentality of somebody that owns something. If you own something, you put a lot of value on it, and that's why even sellers wants to sell higher than the real value. So it's just a general principle that people that wants to sell is thinking, oh, my thing is worth this. Meanwhile, it's not really worth that. The buyer is going to look at it from another perspective. The lender, if you go to bank will look at it. That's when the bank will say, oh, no, this thing is actually 600. Because everybody looks from a different perspective. But there is a general principle. If I know actually, comparison is a good way of valuing a property, right? This is how much, that is a matter of demand and supply.
Yeah.
So, but there is no data to support what they are doing. They are buying banana for 4-5 billion because somebody said one was sold. There is no imperative data. This is one of the things they do in America. In America, when you sell a property, you submit the price as a realtor, and they know the price and they put it online, the actual price. You cannot inflate it. You cannot lie. So those data is there. They know how long it took you to sell it. They know how much you sold it. They use that data to value properties. We don't have that. There is no clarity in the way we do transaction in Nigeria, which is one of the biggest problems diasporans have. But then let us go there now.
No, let's go there, please.
Well, I mean, that's different. I'm still trying to answer your question on whether properties are overvalued.
Yeah.
However, the reason why I said properties in Nigeria are not owned, especially Lagos. I know more about Lagos than any other place.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, not overvalued is that the value of anything is also based on how much people are ready to pay for it. Right. If you put it in the market for 100 billion and you find somebody that wants to pay 100 billion, that's the value at the end of the day, according to the principles of demand and supply. Irrespective
of whitewashing, irrespective of money laundering.
As long as somebody is ready to pay for it, that's your value. As soon as you get somebody to pay for it, you've established a value. Right. The only problem I have is that we don't keep the data. It's not clear. The government should provide a structure, and we have technology now where we know actually how much those properties are bought, and we can use that to say, okay, Frank is saying the truth. He bought it he sold it, or he bought it at 1 billion. Right? We're not depending on hearsay. Okay, so we should have those data so that we'll be able to value, and it's very important. The reason why it's important is this: what you were talking about, that people abroad are now looking at it, there might be a bubble, or they don't really understand the way the transaction is done. Yeah. Once there is transparency, then transparency is the currency that diasporans want. They want to do business, and they want to, here, you want to check your title. You go to Alausa or wherever they say, you will meet somebody at the entrance. They will say, okay, let me go and check for you. It doesn't work like that abroad. I can go online and check who is the owner of that property. We need to put in place those transparency. That's when diaspora investor money comes in. As of 2025, diasporans remitted almost about $23 billion. That's a lot of money. Foreign direct investment was only about 900 million. So you can see the difference. The real investors are bringing 900 million. Diasporans are sending change to their family, $23 billion. Diasporans have money. We've not tapped in. The reason why they are not investing is because they don't trust. There is no clarity in the way you do business. Everything is shredded in secrecy. Do you understand? There is no transparency. And that's the currency that the diasporans want. They have the money to jumpstart this economy.
So you think that this economy can be jump-started by diasporans?
The economy is already on the way to being jump-started. Based on the reforms, we don't have the volatility or the, inconsistency of the dollar
foreign exchange
to foreign exchange, and so many other things are being put in place.
So you love the reforms? You love the reforms? That's
the only way to go. You don't have any option. I don't know why people are complaining. What other choice do we have? Do you understand? Nigeria was going to crash. We had to put the reform in place. How do you see, this is the problem I have with a lot of people. You want to make money, meanwhile you don't want to what's that word? You don't want to invest, you don't want to put something in it, but you want the money to come. If you plant corn, it will take 6 months to grow. Now you put effort in tilting the ground, Abby. Now let's till the ground. Now let's work. The people that made the reform said they made it so that to help our economy in the future. But only 3 years into reform, everybody is screaming. But we begin to see the changes. You understand? Institutions, financial institutions are saying this is the best way to go. People that don't understand finance, that don't understand anything, are saying no. Do you understand?
Some people would say...
When you plant corn, are you going to eat it immediately?
Not at all.
Now, so you'll be hungry for a couple of months before the food is ready now. If you get to your house and you say, madam, go make food for me, will the food be ready instantly?
But some people can die out of the hunger before the food becomes ready.
How many people have died out of hunger?
That's the conversation on the street right now.
Yeah.
People, the pain is unbearable. And I'm going to give you a classic scenario. It's like you're performing a surgical operation on an individual. An individual can die out of pain. That's why sometimes they administer anesthesia. Because when they're given, when it's given to the patient, it numbs the pain. Because that pain, if you don't have a high pain threshold, that pain can take your life. Not even what the operation is trying to treat, what the doctors are trying to treat, but the pain alone from the surgical operation can kill the individual. And so Nigerians are going through this pain, and many of them are saying it's quite unbearable. So what do you think is the succor that the government, in your own perspective, what do you think should be the succor to Nigerians?
First of all, the way we see things are different.
Yeah.
People see things in separate ways, and it's all has to do with your mindset. Okay. There's also a saying that says there is no gain without pain.
Yeah.
There's no pain without gain, or something like that.
Yeah.
So you want to gain, there must be some level of pain. All right. I've heard of people that went into clinic for surgery, the same surgery you're talking about.
Yeah.
And the doctor is saying this guy is going to die, but he is determined to make it. That's a mindset. Somebody, before he enters surgery, he don't die. The way we see things are different. Some people see that this is an opportunity for me to get in there, and I have a network of friends. I know friends that I call when I want encouragement. When there is pandemic and everything is going on, I have 1 or 2 friends that I call. They are always positive. This is an opportunity, we will get in there. Meanwhile, you call some people, they are always crying. You that already think that you have problem, you are not going anywhere. In this same economy that you say that this is so bad, people are becoming billionaires on a daily basis, doing legitimate work. Abi, you don't know them. You see them now, they make money. Right, we see them do their work and they make money.
But those are a handful of people, just a handful. And the way a society should grow is communities,
anywhere in
society.
The world, is there anywhere in the world where you see everybody being wealthy? It's only a handful of people that understands the dynamics of building wealth.
But we should have better living standard. Middle class is shrinking.
Right.
So would you say is a result, the middle class shrinking is a result of, and the disparity between the wealthy and the poor is so wide, it's getting wider by the day. Do you think is a result
And that's why the
of
reforms are
mindset?
being put in place. Because before now,
Yeah.
right, if I want to make a lot of money, all I have to know is know the CBN governor. People make money from corruption, from those opportunities that were, I think they were purposely created, right? Just go and know CBN. Just navigate yourself to go and know NNPC people. They will give you allocation, and you take that allocation, sell it outside, or take it to Cotonou and make a lot of money without really bringing the
Proceed
to bringing the product to Nigeria. You only import it to Nigeria. Those were opportunities. That's how people were building wealth. Those opportunities were depriving Nigerians from this middle class from growing. And so if you remove those, right, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be pain.
Yeah.
But it takes time for that thing to sieve back into the society. Now that there is a level playing ground, there is no, somebody knows CBN chairman, so therefore he's making money. The other one knows NNPC chairman is making money. We all know we have to enter the market now and do groundwork. That's where we are getting to. Then there are more people that don't know, or they don't have to know CBN MD or governor who begin to make money legitimately. But it takes time before that will happen. People also need to learn that they have to know how to work this out. So somebody that doesn't have experience in how to build wealth is not going to build wealth. The same thing we've been talking about since. No matter how much you give him, he will lose the money. The money will still come back to the people that knows how to get money.
How do you get money?
We've spoken about it, you need experience. You need to build
I'm a fresh graduate out of Unilag. I'm in the labor market. I want to be wealthy. What is your advice for such person?
You know why Igbo people are in trading?
Tell me, please.
They're already in business from 10 years old. They're working with their master. They learn how to manage money before they own their shop. The apprentice. That apprenticeship.
Yeah, apprenticeship model.
So you want to make money. You want to start business. You want to start a big business. But you don't even understand the dynamics. There are certain principles that goes around that you have to understand to build wealth. That's why somebody that's built wealth before, dropping in Afghanistan, he will still make money. Because he understands that you put this and tools. One of the biggest things you need is credibility. The money I can step to him and say, give me $100,000, he will look at me and say, oh, God's sake. Because he knows this guy will make the money he have done in it. I can see. There are some people, they can't borrow 1,000 naira. You can't give them 1,000 naira because that you know he's going to go and smoke Igbo next door or take beer. So, the money itself is not the problem. It's the experience and the credibility that is most important.
How do you build the experience?
It takes time. It takes time and effort. It doesn't happen overnight. You remember the guys I told you that they came to meet me?
Yeah.
They've never done business before. They're looking for, and I can't remember how much they were looking for. And I asked them, have you done anything before? No, they just got the idea. There are people that can raise. That's why I said Dangote. If Dangote wants to raise $100 billion today, based on what he has done before, it won't take him a second. In fact, look at the IPO or whatever he's doing now.
Yeah.
Because he has the profile, he has the credibility, he has built, everybody knows him for that.
Not everybody can be a Dangote. Number one. Number two, not everybody can have a rich uncle that gave him about 25,000 naira in the 90s. So, I need us to talk based on real terms.
Have you ever heard, I'm not very good with Bible quote, but have you ever heard about the principle of the talent, or the talent, where Jesus was saying that they gave somebody 10 talents, gave somebody 20 talents,
and he buried his
30 talent.
Yeah.
Right. One, they gave 30 talent, went to go and bury it. He went to go and save it. That's why he has some governors that are saying when they give them money, what they want to do is save. When you save money, that's the 30 you saved. By the time you bring it out 1 year later, inflation, 24%, is less than 30, is reduced by 24%. They gave the other guy, I can't remember what he did with his own, I think maybe he made some money with it. But the third guy multiplied it. Right. Those are the kind of people you want to give money to. Right. He worked, he took the money, invested it and worked it and brought it back. And Jesus said they collected money from the other people and gave it to him. Because he had the experience and he's built the profile and he has shown that he has the capacity and he can do it. Those are the people that will always get money. But to do that, you need to work it. You need to prove yourself. When you prove yourself, the three of us are in this room now. I keep on making money every day. Right. And you are sleeping. And you expect that when somebody comes with money, they will give it to you. No, now. The other guy thinks that when he gets money, he wants to go and save it underground and bring the same money back and say, okay, this gave me money for 4 years, so take your money back. It doesn't work like that.
So you don't believe in the concept of saving?
No smart businessman puts money in the bank. The bank that you put money in, what do you think they do with it? They invest it now. They invest it, they make 30% and give you 5% or 10% back.
So I'm working 9 to 5. I barely have time. I enter Lagos traffic. I barely have time to run a business or start a side hustle. I'm making a lot of money. You're advising that I don't put it in the bank. Where do I put it? I am 25 years old, fresh out of school, maybe graduate internship, graduate trainee, making a lot of money. Where do I keep the money?
You have to look for people that have experience to work with. You partner with them, you invest with them, they mentor you, you work with them. You have to start from that place. If you don't have the time, you have to look for operators that do those things. I have people like that work with me, diasporans that work in big firms abroad. And they don't have the time and they invest in real estate with me. And we talk about the deal, we talk about the next deal. Do you understand? And I explain how it works to them. They are learning. By the time they retire, they already have a couple of properties they are leasing out. And they're already in the business. Do you understand? So there's no way you'll be investing with somebody, you won't be asking questions. So they are beginning to understand the dynamics of investment, right? There are other people that are saving money. When I was growing, I used to work for a man here in Nigeria. He was in Shell. He started working in Shell from youth service. He never works anywhere else. He grew to the topmost level in Shell, right? Shell Petroleum or Shell.
Yeah.
He retired. And the day he retired, he couldn't even book a flight. He called me and said, Femi, I never booked a flight for myself all my life. They used to book flights in the office. He does not know anything. A lot of people like that are the ones that when they retire with all their money, they go and give it to 419. Because 419 will promise them 60%. They don't have any sense of how to invest money. It happens a lot. There was a minister in this country that they swapped, that he went to go and buy vessel.
Yeah.
So you need to get yourself amongst people that are doing this and look for experience, not return.
Look for experience, not return.
Not the return.
So I have a quick question. And there are conversations around investing in properties abroad. Instead of spending $1 million here in Nigeria, why don't you invest in Houston, Texas? Why don't you invest here, buy this property here? What's your advice for somebody who wants to buy a property in Nigeria and is thinking, rather than buying this property here, why don't you invest in the US and I get more benefits? What is your advice for such persons?
So
One.
For
and
high
secondly,
network,
okay, please.
For high network, we're talking about high network people. We're not talking about people that have,
Very true.
It's most important, one of us now, to spread out your investment.
Yeah.
And that's what we are doing. That's why we have projects here in Nigeria. We have projects abroad because this is like playing chess on two chessboard, right? If you win on both sides, right? And if something happens on one, you have leverage on the other side.
Yeah.
There's something we call market cycle, right? Every market has a cycle. There is time when the market is good, and then it goes down. You understand? And then it comes back again. The market cycle of Nigeria is different from that of the US, right? So when you invest in two different markets, what you have done is you have spread out your risk, right? And that's the advantage of spreading out. Apart from that, the world is becoming so global now that it's easy to invest anywhere. You know, a lot of savvy people are now trying to globalize their operation. They are getting second passports. They are able to move abroad and, you know, go from one economy to the other. These are people that are smart and savvy. This is what they do now, right? And, you know, so these are very highly exposed people. And that's why people invest in 2-3 markets at the same time so that you can, you know, leverage or balance your risk.
What's the advantage of investing in properties in the US while in Nigeria? What are the advantages?
Leveraging. So one of the things Nigeria does not have is you don't get bank loan. You know, remember I was trying to describe leveraging. Every time you leverage, you multiply your ROI. What we do in Nigeria is cash on cash return, right? I build my house with every money that I have. I, as a developer in the US, the best I put in a project is 80%. The remaining 20%, is 20%. The remaining 80% I get from the bank, construction loan. Right. So if I need to build a house of 1 billion,
at what rate?
On the average, a rate of 6%, you know, 7%, 8%, depends. So if I want to build a project of 1 billion naira, right? All I have to need is 200 million naira. And I borrow 80 million from the bank at a reasonable interest rate. That is why, you know, investing in a country, when you leverage like that. So let me give you an example of why I call it leverage.
Please do.
Now, so in Nigeria, if I was developing in Nigeria, I would be looking for 1 billion naira cash to build one house. In the US, that my 1 billion naira cash would build 5 houses.
Yeah.
So let's assume that when I build one house in Nigeria, I make 30%. But because I took a loan in the US for 7-8%, let's even call it 10%, right? And I built 5 of it, 10 in 5 places. I now earn 50% based on leveraging because I built 5 houses. While my Nigerian counterpart is building 1, I'm making 30%. I am building 5 and I'm making 50%. That's called leveraging. So I'm multiplying faster. That's what, you know, investing abroad gives you. However, Nigeria has a very high return because there is deficit for homes.
Housing deficit is really high.
Housing deficit is high. We don't have enough, and that's why when we're talking about the value of property, yes, let's talk about Lekki, Ikoyi, and the island or Lagos State. Look at the amount of people trooping into Lagos and look at the properties that are available. The last time I did a check, which was about 20 years ago, only about 15% of Nigeria. I don't have the, as of today, about 20 years ago, I did a check. Only about 15% or 18% of Nigerians own a home. Own, like, is their own.
That's 20 years ago when you did. Okay.
Yes, it will probably be less now. Own. The remaining people, right? Maybe another, I think maybe about 30% were living inside houses, living inside a home. The remaining people are living under bridge. They are not living. It's either your megad, your cook, they are squatting or living under bridge. Only about 30%. Actually, that 30%, maybe 15 owns, another 15 rents. The people that owns in Lagos are the same people that owns in Abuja. They are the one buying all over because they are the only people that can afford it. Every other person is just renting or squatting or living under the bridge or living your megad. You tell him to stay there. At the middle of the night, you invite 10 other mega to sleep within. You are actually hosting 11 people in your security house.
Yeah.
That's how it works in Nigeria. There's so many people squatting. So there's housing deficit. There's so many people that needs a house. That's why the opportunity is here. And the return is high. And almost guaranteed. However, Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians don't have purchasing power. But still, the opportunity is here.
Credit is a very big issue, especially in real estate. You've said it that around the world, there's no place where most places you don't have to pay 100% to get a property. 20% you're able to
3-5% mortgage.
Even 3-5% mortgage and all that. We don't have that over here. How do you think, if you were to be in a position of power and you were in charge of housing, what would you do to revamp our mortgage system?
I think the government's already working. They already have a product where they have about 1 trillion naira, and they're doing it about 9.7% interest rates for starters.
Yeah.
I even thought the interest rate would be higher than that because, it takes time before. You see, Nigeria is already putting the policies in place, but they are where America was in 1950. At some point, America's interest rate too was like 15% and above, right? But we need to work more on it. Real estate has the ability to jumpstart the economy because it employs a lot of people. Bricklayer, carpenter, painter. You know how many people you employ in a construction site?
Yeah.
So it has the ability. The government should provide not just mortgage, and I think they are working on it, right? They should also provide construction loan for developers. So as developers are building, buyers are buying because they have been empowered with mortgage facility.
Oh yeah.
So then there is more turnaround. There is more. The market will jumpstart. People are being employed in the construction industry. Buildings are going, and then that's the way forward, and everybody knows it. I believe everybody knows it. If you put me in charge today, we definitely have to start providing funding for the real estate industry. It's very, very important. They want people to be employed. That's where you employ people, especially the low-skilled people, carpenters, painters, all these people. They get busy. Empower people to buy homes. Give them the loan.
Is real estate still the pathway to wealth creation?
Real estate.
There always is. If you don't have real estate, if you're not in real estate in some way, you're not fortifying your wealth. You're not wealthy. Do you still believe that in this digital era? Remember
the reason why real estate.
Yes, please.
Remains the best investment sector is because it holds its value. There are so many reasons. One, when you invest in real estate, let's take tech, or let's take Bitcoin. When they were making money on Bitcoin, all those
they're still making money.
Fictitious, it's losing its value seriously.
Oh, okay, yeah. The market is in cycles.
Yes, I'm not saying you can't make money on those things.
Yeah.
But remember when I said about risk?
Yeah, true.
The first thing you want to think about is your risk. In real estate, when you give somebody money to build a house, you will see the house physically. You can go there and touch it.
Very true.
Okay. But if you give me to build a tech app or anything, or what are all those things people invest in, they are not physical. So one of the things about real estate, good thing about it is that you can feel it. It's physical. It holds its value over time. Real estate always appreciate because they are not making more land. They don't make land anymore. So the more they build, the more less land, and then demand rises, right? It saves tax. You can get income from real estate when you rent it out. There are so many reasons why real estate hold wealth. the wealthiest people in this world, no matter what they do, they still put some money in real estate, because that's where you can save money. The greatest thing about real estate is this: it's not easy to sell. You don't wake up, I can sell my shares in 24 hours. If I have shares in Dangote, there are already people trying to. But try to sell a property. You will find realtor. The realtor will look for market. They will list it. They will it takes a long time. Then you say, go and bring 500 million. The person will say, okay, I will pay within 2 months. It takes a long time to sell.
What's the average time? What's the average time? Your experience?
On the market. It depends on
Nigerian market. How long does it take to sell an average property in Nigeria?
There's no data, so I can't. In the US.
Okay, with your experience, how long do you think?
I think maybe between 30 to 90 days.
30 to 90 days in the US.
Somebody puts a deposit, and
okay.
In the US, it depends on the market cycle. There are times when, during pandemic, people were buying houses in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because the interest rates were down and everybody was applying at the market. The houses was moving fast. Now interest rates is high. Less people want to buy because they're scared of the interest rate. So it all depends on market cycle and so many other factors. Right. So real estate is, so most times when you have a real estate, you invested in a real estate, and maybe you run into financial issues and you are trying to sell your house. Most times, most people already got the fund that they say, I'm not selling anymore. That's why real estate is good, because it's not easy to sell. Most times, by the time you want to sell it, oh, I got the money back, I don't need to sell anymore. That's one of the reasons. It holds down wealth. My mom used to tell me, put your money in real estate, because in Yoruba, woman de womoleni. It holds down your wealth. You don't have, when you are building a house, you don't have cash flow. You'll be looking for money everywhere to put into projects. It's so the money you are supposed to use to drink NSC and Moe, you'll be putting it in the project. So it holds down money. There's a lot of reasons why people that invest in real estate are wealthy.
So that's
very simple ways for you to just logically see why.
People say for you to be able to make it in real estate, you need to have political connections. How true is that?
It depends on the scale of real estate we're talking about. If you're trying to build a large scale, you might have the attention of the authorities because you need certain approvals, and you have a large investment. It's not everybody, and we're not talking so commercial large scale. If you simple people that invest, they don't need to know the governor, right? But when you want to do a very big project and so many things are involved, you might want to step to the authority, yes. But so I don't think you need political. Well, you see, in Nigeria, right, people have to pull string for a lot of things, okay? And I do understand that, right? The system, and this is one of the problems that we're talking about, diasporans are looking at, they don't understand, because it's not everybody that knows governor. It's not everybody that knows them in the Ministry of Works or, in town planning. And these are the things that the country has to rectify if they are serious about investors bringing money. Well, I don't want to go and beg somebody in Alausa, give me permits. I don't want to. Why would I do that? I put my money down and then I'm begging them and I'm bribing them and doing all that. It's not the way forward. Serious investors don't want to do that. That's why they take their money out, where you don't have to do all that. Recently, I was talking to a fellow developer of mine in Lagos, and they've just introduced something, right, where they have inspectors in Lagos come to inspect your property, your construction at different levels, right, to see that you follow approved plan. It's a good thing, but the government needs to look into it, because what is happening now is that when you send those people, they take bribe and approve whatever you have done. Abroad, it is done. They learn that from abroad. We do that in the US. but US put extra layer for you not to be able to do that. For instance, inspectors in the US, you don't know the inspector that is coming today. It is in the morning, 8 a.m., that they will pick the inspector. And they tell the inspector, this is your site, this is your site. So he can't contact me, and I don't even know who is coming. But I guess...
But when he comes, I can give him money. I don't need to
He doesn't know who you are, because they also plant people in places to make sure that if that happens, they can say, oh, you know what, you did that. And they also have other ways of knowing, you know, like the next inspector that comes can see your own flaw and say, this thing was done wrongly, and note it. Do you understand? So you need to be extremely careful. Also, the cards that they use are being tagged. There are so many things that they put in place. But I guess Nigeria will get there, but we're a little bit slow about that. But these are the things that we need to put in place to show transparency in our transaction. And I don't want to know any politician. Really, I really don't want to. That's one of the problems why we reduce the amount of investment that we are doing in Nigeria. Because now I have to go and push. I want to go and know who Sanwo-Olu is, or I want to go and know who somebody is. I'm going to beg them and say, please, I want to invest. I have a property I bought in one of the states. 16 years ago, I'm still begging for C of O. I'm still sending people, and I've been paying and paying. They are not, the governor have not signed the C of O. That's ridiculous. C of O within 24. If I buy a property in the US, if I buy a land in the US now, my deed will be sent to me by email within 3 or 4 hours after closing. It will be registered. It will, they have to take it to court to, be what's that word? 24 hours. 24 hours.
So you think that all of this is... Why do you think this is happening in Nigeria?
Because they don't want transparency. There is technology. These things are very easy. Very, very easy. Look, let me tell you an example. The first time I got driver's license in the US, I did my driver's test. The guy came and said, okay, you passed. Bam, bam. He said, go there and take photo. I was thinking I was going to take the photo like we do in Nigeria. Then you go 3 months. So I sat down. They took my photograph. I had zzz, and the guy just gave me my driver's license. I didn't have to go anywhere. As they took the photo, the driver's license came out. There is no security, anything they put in Nigerian driver's license that is better than that of the US. So why do you have to go and come back to get a driver's license? I just went to go and get my driver's license here. They gave me this temporary rubbish. They can print it out instantly. Passports, we get it from post office. You don't have to. All these things are very easy to do. Is the government or the people ready to do it? They are not. They don't have the will. They make money. Somebody is making money
off
all
the
this
bad system.
Someone is making money somewhere. I went to go and get driver's license here just last week. They gave me a temporary driver's. They can print it down instantly. Then I took it to one room. I paid them change to help me to laminate the paper. I'm like,
what do you think is the smartest economic move that a young Nigerian can make? Yes, right now in 2026 to improve their living standard. What is the smartest economic move they can make? Things are really tough.
Things are tough everywhere. Things are tough in the US. Seriously tough in the US.
Yeah.
Do you know how much it takes to buy a nylon bag of groceries? A bag of groceries. Groceries, bread, butter, and all those things. I will go into the supermarket and buy it $80.
However,
just one small bag.
However, if you look at the minimum wage in the US, if you look at the GDP per capita in the US, over $70,000.
What's the minimum wage in the US?
Minimum wage in the US. Look at GDP per capita, over $70,000 compared to that to Nigeria here, which is less than $1,000.
First of all, this argument has been. I've read this argument online, and it's very difficult to explain to Nigerians that have not stayed abroad.
Please do.
They won't understand, and they will keep on arguing.
Please do.
An average rent a bad house in the US is about $1,500 to $1,800. Not a very good house
per month.
in the ghetto in the month. Minimum wage, I think, is about $12 an hour, which will amount to about 3,000 something. Right. That month already, you have paid 1,700 to 1,800 out of your 3,000. Meanwhile, they are going to tax you. Tax is about between 20% or something.
For minimum wage?
They tax everybody now.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
pay tax. Even when you go buy groceries, as you are buying your bread, they are removing tax now. You will see they remove tax. Everywhere you go, they tax. Right. So you are left with 15. You will buy AC and you will pay for electricity. Power in your house.
Yeah.
You will maybe 100 sometime in summer, $200, $300 where it's very hot in Texas. You pay for water. They don't owe this. They all these things you don't owe. Before you know what, that your 3,000 is gone. As you are living as they are giving you the money, you are just using it like this, or they are removing it from your bank. Boom, 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 boom. When you first pay, it's gone. You don't have anything again to live on. You are just empty hand. You save the remaining to buy groceries in the house for your people to chop. They live from hand to mouth. Right. Then there's nobody helps anybody in abroad. Nobody is going to borrow you $50. If you get there, you call your friend today and you say give you $50, he will pick your money. Because he himself doesn't have $50. He's living from hand to mouth. He won't pick your call the next day. The way we have lose money here, we have lose money.
Really?
Oh yes.
Tell me more about it.
There's too many people in Nigeria that don't work and earn money. Whichever way it happens, they are not working, but they have money.
I don't know.
Many people in Nigeria. Wow. It doesn't happen like that abroad.
Amazing.
Nobody does. They will do. Where will you see it?
Unemployment benefits. There are people who they get it abroad.
You are employed before you got unemployed.
Yes.
Yeah, you were, and you know the funny thing about how people are fired abroad.
No.
Here they give you 30 days notice. There is nothing like that too. We call it. You can terminate by will. By will, your employer can say, as you are entering in this morning, say you are fired. No need to give you 30 days notice. You can lose your employment in the twinkle of an eye. That's your 3K.
You can also lose your employment before coming to the office here in Nigeria.
Well, these days they are very lenient. They will give you time when you will be doing sorry sir. And it was okay. Don't try it again. Nigerians like shouting. I was on the airport the other day. Hey, if you did that, I will arrest you. Just making noise. They don't talk. When you man no go talk. They will just tell you are fired. It doesn't. If you are trying to double it, he will think maybe you are trying to remove the gun in his leg. You don't apologize for making a mistake. They fire you instantly at will. So even your 3K, and that's why you get employment. That's why they put in place employment benefit. Okay,
unemployment.
When people are fired for like 2-3 months, unemployment benefit, they pay. And it's not that unemployment benefit is not free. It's a contribution that they were removing from. So all these things are not free. Stop looking at it as they give him an unemployment benefit. Do you know how much it costs to pay for your health? On a monthly basis, me and my family, I spend about 2,500 on health insurance. 4 of us. Ridiculously high. I've gone to remove my teeth before. I paid 2,300. I didn't even remove the teeth that I've had since I was a teenager in Nigeria. Nothing to do with my teeth. I was using my teeth. I went there and they said, "Oh, yeah, there's something wrong with your teeth." I said, "Okay, how much is it going to cost you?" "Oh, don't worry. It's not going to cost you much. Maybe $300 or $400. Okay. I went under the light. They did gri. I don't know what they were doing there. Before I know what, I finished. They said, they didn't know it was going to be that much. They sent me a bill of 2,500. Since that day, I come here to Nigeria to see dentists. I removed dentists from my ridiculous. Everything is short of saying too much scam abroad. It's terrible. Sometimes you want to cry. Expensive. Petrol, gas. The gas that we are making noise. Right. Gas. The price of petrol is based on Platts, international rates.
Yeah,
right?
true.
You have to calculate it based on that. No, I know that a lot of Nigerians are not earning. And if we're going to be sentimental and we put empathy, the government has to do something about all this, right? But the reality is that a lot of Nigerians too are not working. And they don't want to work. If you ask them, why don't you have a job? They will tell you, I don't want to. When I left Nigeria, I had over 100 and something staffs in my various businesses. When I got abroad, I told my wife, I don't even know one street to the other that I want to drive Uber. She said, no, you even have like 4 or 5 drivers when you were in Nigeria. How can you go and drive Uber? I said, yeah, but I need to. If I don't, okay, you want me to just be driving around? If I drive Uber, I will make money while I'm driving around. But you are too big for that. I'm not too big for anything. There are so many Nigerians, they don't have anything. They will get there, they can't drive Uber. They will tell you, they don't want to work. Here, too, is the same problem. People just don't want to work, but they want big money. That's the problem. You can't tell me there is no work. There's too much work. It's just, are you ready to do the same work? When people say there is no work, it's ridiculous. How can you say there is no work in this kind of environment? There is too much work now. But we are not ready to do the work. People always complain. I personally don't like to hear complaints. It just gets on my... Look, if get there and do something, stop complaining. The time you are using to complain is a waste of time. Stop complaining about everything. There are things you can control and things you can't control. I can't control the president and I can't control the government, right? Yeah. So let me face what is on ground and do whatever I have to do. So people are saying, I have a friend that is always going to say, it's because you have opportunity. You create the opportunity, and while you are there complaining, me, I'm already moving. You are there complaining about how bad the economy is. Me, I'm already finding out to solve my problem. There is opportunity. People just don't want to do it. I had a friend.
Yes, please.
And I want to tell you that story. And I hope, if he listens to this. When I was in Abuja, I had a business in Abuja before I left. And when we moved to Abuja in 2000, when Obasanjo became president, a couple of us went to Abuja to establish businesses and do business. So I and my friends who went there. I had a business already. I was already an entrepreneur. So I went with some of my staffs who were there. I established a business. And I'm a hardworking person. So from morning, I would have gone to work. By evening, I'll go and pick up my friend in his house. Hey, let's go and have some drinks and relax. The house he was staying, which is his uncle's house, there was one young man I used to see there. We'll just say, I'll say, hi, pick up my friend. We'll go. I'll drop him back maybe late at night. One day, that young man that I always see in the house, I found out established one of the biggest telecoms company in Nigeria. He and his colleagues. We're talking, in those days, we were like under 30, in our 20s. They started, I don't want to name the company, they started one of the biggest telecoms company. Part
of the 3 major ones?
No.
Okay.
No, they were laying cables.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to name their company.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my guy was staying in the same house with him.
And didn't know.
He never asked him. Okay, you know the funny thing was, so when they asked him, your head correct like this. This guy was setting up a company and you didn't know. He said, I knew now that he used to go to meetings with his friends. They were young. And that he would want to borrow that guy. That guy had a car. He would want to borrow his car. So he would go and drop him at the place where they are having the meeting.
I take the car.
Meanwhile, the boys were establishing $1 billion business. And you never knew. This is what is happening with a lot of Nigerian youths. Under their nose, things are going on. but they are sitting down there complaining. If you tell them, take this, follow me as I'm pitching my own, you to pitch, they will say no, they don't want to do that, it's too much hard work. I beg. They don't want to do those kind of businesses. That's why you're saying you are crying.
The CEO of Money Point was he I don't know, you must have seen the
he's absolutely
the clip.
right. There's no
you believe in that?
I know what you want to say. He was saying Nigerians were unemployable. He's absolutely right. Have you tried to employ a few Nigerians? They don't even have, a lot of people don't even have good work ethic.
What are the good work ethics you look for when employing Nigerians or when employing people in general?
Let me give you an instance.
Black don't crack. No. Remember that?
Let me just give you one instance.
Okay, please do.
You know what time I got here? Spot on for the time you told me to come.
Yeah.
Half of your staff in Nigeria, they come late. And of course, it affects your business. Because if your staff come late, you won't start work early. Right.
True.
And they don't understand. You will tell them, they will tell you, Oga, there was traffic. You that knows that there is traffic in Lagos, right? You want to resume on the island at 8 o'clock, and you are still leaving your home wherever you are staying at 7. What do you have to do? There's a way to rectify it. Now move your time to 5. See, let me tell you something. This morning,
yeah,
I have done 16,000 steps before I got here at 9 a.m. I've walked out. I didn't just walk out alone. I've done 16,000 steps, right? I've had meetings before 9 a.m. I know guys that they will wake up at 5 a.m. entrepreneurs in this Nigeria. They will do all their workouts. They will be in Abuja, in a meeting in Abuja. They woke up in Lagos by 9:30 in the morning because they are on the first flight, 7 a.m. But even before they go to that place, they have already woke up. And I used to do that. 4 a.m., do my workout and everything. I'm at the airport, 7 a.m. I'm in Abuja for my meeting, 9:30. I'm in Gwarinpa or whatever, or Wuse for my meeting. Meanwhile, I get guys in Lagos, they wake up at 11, 12. I am already looking for my next flight to bring me back to Lagos. And I've done, even within that time, I'm doing business, I'm doing meetings with other people. I've already accomplished so much. How wouldn't I be wealthier than that person? You are waking up at 11, 12. Your mate has worked out. He's better fit. He's better shaped. He has done meetings. He's in a meeting in Abuja at 9:30. You are still snoring. And you are waking up at 11. When you wake up at 11, first go into the kitchen and look for yesterday's eba. When you eat it finish, you stuff yourself with eba calories. When you finish eating the eba, then you are looking for, okay, which place we will hang out now? I beg, maybe we'll meet for joints. You go and stuff yourself with alcohol. And you are dreaming of big deals. Am I lying? I mean, you don't know people like that. There are a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people like that. They don't want to work. They want big money.
Okay, so real estate in Nigeria, real estate in the US. I'm just going to ask you a few fireside questions. Real estate in Nigeria, in the US, which market are you going for? And why?
Both markets have their... I want everything.
Okay. Benefits?
Leverage in the US.
Leverage, okay.
Stability.
Right.
Nigeria.
Benefits in Nigeria.
Higher margins.
Creativity
in structuring deals.
Okay.
I like the energy of the people here. And there's a lot of opportunities. There is less people. There is less competition. There is a lot of competition abroad. So that's. So I want to play in both markets, and I want to be able to, move over the borders.
Lagos or Houston?
It's the same thing. I just said
Airbnb or long-term rental.
They both have their. You want to mix it. You want to mix it. So
you want to mix it, okay?
Yeah, you
but
want to mix
but
it.
people will say cash flow. Airbnb
yes,
gives
cash
you
flow
okay.
and capital gain.
Okay.
And so I always tell people when they talk about what kind of investment do you want to invest in. Let me give you an instance.
Yeah.
It depends on who you are talking with. There are people both in Nigeria and here.
Yeah.
Right. They have a lot of money. They don't know where to put their money. They don't need monthly money. They have big money coming in. Maybe they have a business that gives them a lot of monthly money, so they have cash flow.
Yeah.
They are looking for capital gain. They want to let's build that project together so that we can make 30-40% return at the end of the month. Those ones are looking for capital gain. There are some people that they are in retirement. They are looking for a business where a rent, where monthly rents, you'll be giving them cash flow. So it depends on who you are talking with. Everybody has their own perspective. They have their own place in the market. But if you are a stable person, you want to have both. You want to be playing on both. And that gives you stability. Also, you want to play on both borders.
Competence or networking?
Networking is very important. Networking is your net worth. It's the people that that decides your capacity.
Not your competence?
You can build competence easily. In fact, with a good network, you can have competence.
Wow.
So network it's very important. What you will get easily because of your network, and I struggle for it for a long time. It bridges. It's we're talking about loans and all that opportunities.
Yeah, true.
Yes, network for everything. You see, and it also depends on where you are, where you are in your level. When I started business, I started small, so I needed to be with my staff when they were doing. I had a furniture company, I had an importation company, I was in oil and gas. And I was there. I used to go to Apapa where they were loading my petrol tankers.
Loading bay.
I've been in construction site. I had a project in Bayelsa. I was slept under the staircase in those days just to make sure me and my wife, my staffs will deliver. There's nothing I've not done. I had furniture and all that. At that point, I had to be an operator. I had to be there. Now I have structure. I have people that takes care of everything. I don't have to be the guy that is going to be, following them around.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is network. I want to market. People see me. I want to be the chief marketing officer, the face to my organization. Where I was before, what took me to that level is not what is going to take me above that level. And I recognize that. So I'm no more an operator. We have the structure that will take care of that. The next thing now is, we need to network. We need to market.
So what you're inferring is that at the start of one's journey, you need to build competence.
You need to
then
build
over
competence,
time,
you need to build experience. You need to build all that. Look, see, I don't have to be at any site. I don't have to be anywhere there. All those things I've done on the phone, I still describe to people abroad. If I'm here, they call me 2-3 a.m. They wake up now that they have an idea. I will tell them what to do. Describe what's the problem. This. I know it. I've been there. I've done it. I've been involved. So I have the experience, right? So I don't have to be here anymore. I've passed that stage. Yeah.
So, in general, if you look at the real estate industry, it's very capital intensive, but there are young people who are passionate about it. What is your advice to a young person who wants to come into real estate, doesn't have money? What would be your advice to such person? How do you approach the market? And then I want you to describe. You said real estate is not something that you can easily liquidate. But what's the best selling strategy for real estate? Selling is almost everything in life.
So first of all,
the young person,
you have to build network, build experience, and you don't have to build it by being the money bag. Okay, so a lot of developers started by being a realtor. Realtors don't have anything. Some of them don't even have money to take bus out of the house. Right? That's how they started. And then they start getting into deals. And then halfway in between the deal, they make 1 million naira. They want. Then you have to learn creativity on how to, work with other people and put money together to invest, JVs, collaboration, all those kind of strategies are there. So you don't really have to have. Even we that are already we are already doing big projects. I don't put. There is no developer that uses all his money to develop. You can't. You are limited. Your project is limited to how much I have. So if I have 10 billion naira, I can only do 10 billion worth of project. But I want to leverage. I want to do 100 billion. Yeah. So I need more money. So that's the same thing with somebody that has 100 million. You have to first understand that you never have enough money to do big projects or to do something like real estate. So what you have to do is creative funding. You have to understand how to structure deals, how to work, how to collaborate, how to partner. And so there are solutions. And that's why I said at the beginning of this talk, you don't need money first. You need experience. When it comes to selling,
yes, please.
I'm selling right now. There are different strategies. A lot of people that knows me that wants to buy, they call me out of the blue. So, Femi, I know you're in the US. I want to buy a property. I need, every week, every day, I get that kind of call. You need to be in front of, especially social media. The world is changing so fast. There is so much opportunity, technology, so many things is moving, You need to be able to vision it, right? Anybody will say, people say, Femi, what are you doing on podcast? They can't figure it out. Of course I'm selling. I need visibility. I need to talk about what I do. And that's how, when people want to do a deal, they remember me first and they call me. But there are also other ways of selling properties. You can list them. There is online. There's so many things going on. I can't begin to go into all those things, but they are there. All those things are there for people that really wants to know how to do it. Even the problem now is that things are changing so fast that what I'm talking about now, 1 month down the line, they are doing something else.
Yeah.
So it's all strategy.
So if you want, you have a 300 million naira property, you're a realtor. How would you sell it in Lagos? You have the direct mandate to that property.
The easiest way,
yes,
first
please.
of all, is network.
Okay.
And using online, social media, network, and all that. So that's the easiest way realtors used to operate. The successful realtors nowadays, you see them posting online. You see them showing those properties. So there is something. Word of mouth, I'm talking to you one-on-one. How many people can I talk to? How many people can I talk to in a day? If I go on the street, I'm talking to 10 people. But if I get on social media right now as we're talking, probably 1 million people is looking at us. I've marketed to 1 million people. Social media is powerful.
Yeah.
Right. 2-3 million people see what I'm doing right there. And they don't stop seeing it because you keep on reposting it. This is the easiest way to market. Marketing has gotten so easy. It's technology, so you use it. It's not. I don't want to post on newspaper.
Yeah.
How many newspaper they're going to want to read?
Yeah.
So yeah. So
what's the future of real estate? So many things evolve. So many things evolve. Look at production. Look at camera. Look at phones. Once upon a time, 310. But what do you think about the real estate market? What do you think is going to be the future, and how would it evolve?
Homes will be homes. People still have to live under shelter.
Yeah.
And most likely, for now, it's going to be concrete that they use in Nigeria.
Yeah.
In the US, we use wood. I'm not sure whether the materials are going to change in both areas. And there's a reason so. And then the size maybe might reduce. But in Nigeria, especially in Lagos, buildings have to go up. Because there's no more land. Okay, so we need to go up. We need to go vertical.
Yeah.
That has to happen. The land has shrunk, and there are too many. Lagos has to start thinking about. I understand that the population of Nigeria is going to be about 400 million by 2050. 20 what?
50.
2050. We need to start providing for those 400 million people infrastructure, They start thinking about where they are going to live.
Yeah.
Or else there will be a lot of crime on the street.
Okay, so I think this is just a very direct question. I had somebody ask me that question before, and I didn't have the answer to it. So I'm going to use this opportunity to ask. You said, how's real estate is going to go vertical? Because there are no more land. You can't reproduce land. You can. What is available is what is available. So it's a non-fungible asset. In a vertical structure, say 20 floors, I buy the 4th floor, somebody else buy the 5th, the 6th. Who owns the land?
The developer. A lot of people make that mistake in Nigeria.
Really?
Yeah,
so the developer owns the land.
You can't buy that common. You can't. Well, it depends.
Okay, please.
It depends on how you structure it.
Okay.
But it's very difficult to structure. So this is how people structure it. You can come up and say, okay, all of you, I'm handing over the land to you. Right?
To everyone.
Yeah, you can do that. But that's rarely the case. What happens is, if you buy a property that has its own land, like a duplex, or like a single family home, they give you a C of O or a deed of assignment. Okay?
Yeah.
Which means you own the land and the building.
Yeah.
For an apartment, they give you a deed of lease. You don't get a deed, and I've had people argue they don't understand that. They lease the place. So if the developer has 100 years deed of assignment or a C of O, even the government doesn't give you infinite. They probably give you 100 years or something like that. It reverts back to the government. What you do as a developer is you give the people you are selling to 99.999%, short of 1 day. So when the deed goes back to the government on the 100th day, or the 100th year last day, it comes back to you first, and then you hand it over to the government. Do you understand? Did you get that?
Oh, yeah.
So that 1 day short is the agreement to send to them. So it reverts back to you before it reverts back to the government. So it's a deed of lease.
Deed of lease.
Yes.
What if
That's what you get as an apartment. You don't get a deed of assignment.
Okay.
Mind you,
yeah.
Disclosure, I'm not a lawyer. I'm talking both as a real estate developer and my experience.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing in the US and here in Nigeria. It's a deed of lease that you get.
Deed of lease, and it can last for 100 years.
That place to you for 99 for the time the developer has. A lot of the developers don't educate their people. The people think they own the place forever. No. It's reversing back to the developer. And the developer itself is CFO. Now, there can be a clause in the CFO that says that, it can be,
So what's the next thing for you? What industry are you eyeing? You've been in real estate. You thought about you're setting up a venture fund. You want to invest in companies and all of that. So what's the next?
One of the things that in my group of company, we have an investment arm.
Yeah.
And we deal with especially diasporans that knows, and so because we have credibility, we've worked with people and they know us, so we're able to raise funds for projects. We have the experience of raising the funds. We know how to structure it based on how it's structured in the Western world and the US. That experience of how to structure raising of funds is a little bit different from the way they structure fund here.
Yeah, true.
Right, and for instance, in the US, when we raise funds, we comply with SEC rules. Here in Nigeria, people don't even understand that SEC has a rule, both in Nigeria here.
Yeah, Security and Exchange Commission.
People. So we bring that experience to the table. For our project, we've been raising funds, but we're thinking of pivoting into venture capital. We have a lot of connection with foreigners who are interested in tech, especially. Nigerians are doing very well in tech. So based on our network there and the people we have, they don't understand this terrain that much. We can bridge that gap.
So you think that okay, really good. We need more of that. We need more of that. We need
infuse.
Yeah.
But we need transparency in the way we do business. It's just in Nigeria, people, well, I don't know if it's a culture, but we need to be plain about whatever we are doing. And, it's one of the biggest things that, people abroad are looking for.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a great pleasure talking to you. Yeah, it's been a great pleasure talking to you. So we have a culture on a final note where you recommend who you want to have, who we should have on the Frankly Business podcast. And when we have the person, you are also going to ask the person a question. So we would ask the person that question.
Are you talking about
anybody in business, obviously. Someone who you admire, who...
Well, one of the people I admire really is Femi Rogers. I met him once, and I spoke with him once also. I like the way he's somebody that built his wealth on network. Notice him. We've spoken about network here. He's somebody that navigates. You can see he's always close with the high rollers. Chairman, get chairman. If you can get Femi. If you can get Femi, yeah.
Okay.
Very interesting. Interesting fellow.
What question do you have for him?
Femi started from the scratch, as far as I know. I know when he started from... I know his father was the governor at some point. But
so can you call that scratch?
See, I'm not sure his father handed over funds to him. Even if they were fine. You said something about Dangote the other time that he had capital. You know how many people they gave capital and they squandered it. You know how many people their father were governors.
True.
You have to give these people their credit. He's not the only person that his father was the governor. Dangote was not the first person that they gave capital. Who is this man? Who is the third? He's now the third wealthiest, richest Nigerian.
Abdul Salam. No, Rabiu.
Not Rabiu. I think Rabiu is second. I'm not sure. The Yoruba
man. Are you talking of the Glow?
Yeah, Glow.
Okay.
They said that it was an ally of Babangida. But
yeah.
He's not the only person that was an ally of Babangida. No. There are so many people that government made, but look at where he is. They did their work now. When people say opportunities there are opportunities for everybody. It's either you are not positioned or you can't see it. Most likely, most of the time, people are not ready to grab opportunities. Not that the opportunities are... People are handing you... Even when we talk about... Is Dangote the only grandson of his grandfather? He must have been doing something at that age that the man will say, let me invest in you.
Yeah.
So, when you are not positioned and you are not ready, you are smoking Igbo or you are doing something stupid and you expect somebody to give you money, there are so many children of wealthy people that their parents cannot even leave 10 kobo for them. So, and there are so many, so that's it.
So what's the question you have for him?
Well, I mean, you took me by surprise. I just...
that's what we do.
I want to understand. I know he has evolved over time.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things you need in life. You need to evolve. You can see at some time he consolidated and sold off Xenon.
Yeah.
He's now in the banking industry. It's part of his evolving. And also, I just need to know what is the strategy. I see, that's what I recognize. You see, we all have mentors. I don't even have to know people physically. I can be looking at you from a distance and make you my mentor. It's one of my mentors, but it's not the only one. I have so many people, so many Nigerians that I look at from a distance. I don't have any question, but I would like to know, a little bit about his experience, about what he went through when he was growing his business.
You would love to know what he went through when he was growing his business.
His failures.
His failures. Yeah.
There is no successful person that has not failed severally. None.
What are your failures?
I have a lot of failures.
You mind if you share one? Groundbreaking failure that almost broke you?
I have a lot of failures and a lot of disappointments.
Yes. Mind if you share one before we go?
Human beings are the greatest disappointments in this world. You rely on people, they screw you up. There's a lot. I can't be naming names.
No, you don't have to mention names.
I also had experiences when I moved abroad. One of them was, let's say, almost swapped. Okay, so let me give you this. I discovered I had high blood pressure in the US. I didn't have it when I was in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Right. And it was because I went through some stress and I had to go to the clinic and they said, man, your blood pressure is high. Maybe I've been having it before then. It was my 40s. I had a deal. So in the US, if you want to buy land, and I wanted to buy land to go into my construction.
Yeah.
I brought in about 500K cash from Nigeria on that first deal. I bought the land. I spent
$500,000.
Yes. When I wanted to buy the land, there was a Nigerian. The guy is extremely rich. I don't want to name names. We all know him. You know him. He was my first guy and my network. Contacted him. He said, Femi, no problem. I told him I've already seen this land and this land. This is how much they sell it. They said, no, don't buy that land. Come and buy my own. He sold it higher than the ones I said. He said, that one is near a church. It won't sell, which was a lie. And this one, but buy my own. So he put money on it. Okay, fine. Because I felt that I needed him because he could be my mentor. So we bought the land. And when you buy land in the US, you want to close in what we call a title house. Something like a lawyer who is going to help you do the deed, but do a due diligence on whether the person that sold the land is the owner of the land. Yeah. When they do that also, the title house will give you insurance. These are some of the structures. Yeah. And say, look, I've searched that land though. Frank owns the land though. I can also give you an insurance certificate that says that if anything happens to you that is a title problem, come back and claim the money from me. Yeah. So when we wanted to close, we went to a title house. The title people said, Femi, pay for title insurance so that we give you insurance for this time, so that we can do the due diligence and give you insurance. Yeah. My friend said, why do you want to waste your money on title insurance? Trust me now. Maybe you know me. Am I going to swab you? I said, but, say, no, don't search. I'm the one that is going to put you through this thing. Even the lady that was doing the title called me back that you need to do due diligence and pay for insurance. I said, let me talk with my guy. I don't want to offend him. Hey. So the guy said, no. Let's go there. Let's go and close. Why did she tell you that? Why did Sharon tell you that? No. We went there. That day we closed. I didn't get title insurance. I bought the land. I spent another $350 to $400 to build the house. That's all I had. I wanted to sell the house. They did a search and said the title was not good. It has what we call a breaking chain. Maybe a lawyer can understand. A breaking chain of title. It's a long story. I don't want to go in that. So I can't sell it. I'm stuck with the property. Now, apparently my guy that sold me the land knew that land had a problem. And sold it to me because I was the next gullible person that just came from Nigeria.
Sold it at a premium.
If he had told me, I will not build house on it. I even went further to use 350,000 last kobo that I brought from Nigeria to build the house on top of it. Now to sell it became a problem. I got stuck with the house. For months I couldn't sell it.
Wow. So how did you rectify that?
Eventually, I got a title house that was ready to give me a title. So buyers need title insurance. When I bought the land, I didn't have title insurance. So because that was so red flag was you want to sell something, you don't get title insurance. They did the first, second, third buyer that came. They went to title house. Those title houses looked at it and said they will go back to the buyer buyer 1, buyer 2, up to about 1960.
Oh.
The title break, what they call a breaking chain, was that they couldn't. In 1960, the person that sold from Frank to Dio, there was no receipt, no proof of that transaction. They could see the name, but no proof. Their database has up to when.
And you said it, that the price would always reflect.
So there was no proof. That was a breaking chain. So the title were saying they can't ensure that because the family of Frank can come and say, my great-great-great-grandfather didn't sell it.
True.
So they are not going to insure it if that happens.
Yeah.
But I eventually found a title house after working out that said, we don't go as far back as that. We only need 10 years. Those ones gave me title insurance and I was able to sell it.
So what's your advice for somebody who wants to buy real estate? What steps should they take to avoid this?
You have to do a very good your due diligence.
Let's make it practical. What due diligence? You go to the US, you do title search, okay?
Okay. Both US and Nigeria.
Yeah.
You see, like I said, in the US it's transparent. You can even do it yourself, okay?
Yeah.
In Nigeria you have to go to Alausa and rely on somebody that will go inside and do it. There's no transparency. That's the problem. Nigeria has to put transparency. We don't have to. There's technology. I don't have to rely on somebody in Alausa. I should go online and search, Frank owns this property and it was bought from this day and bought in this time it bought it. All those information should be online.
Okay. How about the US?
It's like that in the US. Now, so you want to know, make sure you do your due diligence on title. Now, there's a difference between title and approval. A lot of people don't know that there's a difference between title and approval. So, because you bought a land does not mean that you have the right to build a house or there is a type of house. There are land that you can only build warehouse. There is a land that you can only build hotel, shopping mall, and you want to go and build a living quarters in it. It's not allowed. Or in a residential area, you want to build, So what they can approve you for, and there is land that you can't build anything. In Abuja, they have gardens that they can actually sell or lease out to people on a long time. But people will now try to go and build a structure on it. It's not supposed to have approval for structure.
Yeah.
Even there are some spaces that are like canal in Lagos here where they can sell part of those spaces to you. But on the plan, master plan, you can't build on it. You can own it for garden, but you can't build on it. So owning the title is different from approval.
Okay.
You need to do all those due diligence first.
And then the next step?
The next step is if you are building like a developer like me, you want to build to sell.
Yeah.
You need to know your numbers. You need to know how long it's going to take me to sell in this area. You need to know what my profit margin is. You need to know my cost. And so on and so forth. And like I said, when you are working with an experienced person, he knows all the things to do.
We should definitely have a part 2, Mr. Femi. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah, it's been a great one having conversations with you around real estate. I'm sure you got great value from this conversation. This has been the Frankly Business Podcast. I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Cheers.